This broadcast is reaching you from the mission Jesus for the World Revival, also known as the People's Church. Your pastor is Sam Awida. May these messages bless your soul. Amen. We've a story to tell to the nations that shall turn their hearts to the right. A story of truth and mercy. A story of peace and light.
One common desire in the heart of all true lovers of God all over the world today is peace. As of today, peace is the most greatly commodity sought for everywhere in the entire world. In spite of the uncountable number of peace confabs and initiatives, yet peace has eluded most entire countries of the world. Nigeria is not spared. I can say boldly that peace as of today is the most costly commodity everywhere on the globe. There is war everywhere. There is killing of fellow human beings everywhere. But why is peace so evasive in spite of the several moves to install it? In this sermon, I am concentrating mostly on peace in Nigeria. So the title of my sermon today is Peace in Nigeria. But meanwhile, let us reverently ask God to take control of this period. Peace in Nigeria. Why is peace so evasive in spite of the several moves to install it? Under the presidency of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo in 1999, some representatives of the two principal religions, Christianity and Islam, 25 on each side, constituted a voluntary association called Nigeria Interreligious Council, NIREC. It was inaugurated on September 11, 1999. Ní ọdún 1999, ní ìgbà ìjọba olóyè Ọbásanjọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ààrẹ, àwọn olórí ẹ̀sìn Islam àti ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi ènìyàn mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dọ́gbọ̀n ní ìhà kọ̀ọ̀kan kó ara wọn jọ, wọ́n pe ara wọn ní àpèjọ gbogbo ẹlẹ́sìn NIREC. NIREC was occasioned by the incessant ethno-religious crisis which punctuated the socio-political landscape of the country. It is a permanent and independent body established to provide religious leaders and traditional rulers with a variable forum to promote greater interaction and understanding among the leadership and their followers, as well as lay foundations for sustainable peace and religious harmony in the country. A review was made in March 2019, and the membership expanded to 30 on each side in order to accommodate for women and youths. It remains a voluntary association. With all the insecurity, length and breadth of the country erupting mainly from religious differences, one may want to ask, how successful has this voluntary organization, NIREC, and many others like it have been? Are they able to meet their objectives? One of such interreligious peace talk was organized recently on July 7 at Ilorin, anchored by one young dynamic fellow. I admire his courage and organizational skill. He was able to pull very high-ranking Islamic and Christian leaders from all over the nation, mostly Ilorin and Abuja, to the peace talk at MMR, Saboke. The hall was full. The high-ranking spiritual leaders presented beautiful citations. But if I may ask, starting from the highest organ of peace initiative, the NIREC, one, do they all personally have the belief, in all sincerity, that all religions must be allowed to exist and operate freely without hindrance in the country? Two, do they all personally have the belief, in all sincerity, that no one religion should dominate other religions? Three, do they all personally have the belief, in all sincerity, that no one religion should be favored by the government more than other religions? Except these questions are answered truthfully and addressed, all the meetings are a charade, hypocritical, a waste of time and money, and all the peace orations empty and deceitful. Let us ask more questions. One, Are members of those people at the meetings who present beautiful papers not the same who go behind the scene and scheme that no person of other religion other than theirs can hold certain positions, including cabinet ones in the country? 2. Are they not the same clerics who go on the megaphone at their place of worship and preach to their congregations that they should cast their votes only for candidates from their mother, that is, from their faith? I do not see anything wrong in promoting a candidate in the place of worship, because I want the person who will make life comfortable for the populace to be enthroned, because the journey to heaven will be made easier if a godly person is on the throne. The Bible also says that when the righteous rules, the people rejoice, but when the wicked rules, the people mourn. Proverbs 29 verse 2. In the two principal religions are very godly, caring people, just as there are very ungodly and selfish people among the people of the two faiths. So, godliness in a candidate should be campaigned for and not religion. And this is the only reason why in 2015, though a Christian that I am, I pitched my tent in the camp of Baba Buhari and promoted his candidacy against his opponent, who is a member of my constituency, Christianity. Unfortunately, it has become something of a regret, as Baba has disappointed us. 3. Would everyone in the peace meetings ever support that someone who is not of their religion but competent, truthful, and honest be enthroned as a governor of a state? 4. Would they work for the enthronement of someone as a governor found to be competent, godly, and honest, but who is not from their faith? My belief is that at such peace conferences, the several root causes of rift and grudges leading to unrest are what ought to be addressed. Consider these scenarios. 1. Land ownership is part of our culture in Nigeria. It is a fact known to us all. How can there be peace in any community where one particular neighboring town occupies the ancestral land of its neighbor simply because over the time it has been favored by certain factors and it has grown big and produced many highly placed people? Where there is godliness, the right thing to do is to buy the land from the rightful owner and not to occupy it and go to the court with forged documents, employing ungodly lawyers to argue the case in his favor. When Sarah, Abraham's wife, died, and he saw a land which pleased him, where to bury her, he openly and honestly negotiated and paid for the land in the presence of witnesses. Genesis 23. Abraham could forge documents to claim ownership. Besides, he had become mighty in war. He could forcibly acquire it, but he did not do any of those, but paid the right price. We also read in 2 Samuel 23 that David needed to use the threshing flood of a man called Araunah, a Jebusite, perhaps from Ijebuland. David was the only power in the region. He could forcibly acquire it. Araunah offered the land to King David free of charge, but King David refused. Araunah even pleaded that David should have it free, but David insisted to pay, and he paid the required amount of money. These are godly behavior that makes peace to reign in the land. I hope all the big cities that are oppressing their neighboring small towns, acquiring their land, concocting stories, forging documents will learn to be godly like Abraham and King David before the true judge of heaven comes to the rescue of the people they are oppressing and destroy their properties and pride. The same goes for the people who call themselves the children of the land, who after their fathers have been paid will foment trouble by reselling the same land to another fellow, except the first buyer rebuys it. Get it right, that the God of heaven is looking down, watching the activities of man below, and he is a God of vengeance. You are certainly planting seed of destruction for your coming generation. 2. Can there be peace where a certain town conduct clandestine meetings asking our people to repeal and take over all the lands purchased by people of other faiths, particularly when perceived that such lands are meant for building the house of worship of their religion? 3. Will there be peace when government jobs are said to be frozen, but people of the favored faith and tribes are offered jobs from behind? Furthermore, people of the favored faith or tribe are offered certain high-profile appointments, and people of the favored faith and tribe dominate every segment of the public service. Yet the people who are behind all these injustices are the same who constitute the peace meetings and present beautiful orations. 4. How can there be peace when candidates seeking admission to tertiary institutions have to falsify their religion on their application form to one that is presumed to be favored for their admission to be made easier? 5. How can there be peace when the proprietary rights of schools built by a particular faith are over the night taken away from them without any compensation paid, and the court is made to sanction the action? 6. Will there not be grudges when the activities of a certain religion are restricted to some specific areas in the town? Yet we say we are a secular state with freedom of speech and religion. These and many other items which cause grudge in certain quarters beg for answer. There are things needed to be addressed and solution provided for in the peace meetings. When these are not done, the peace meetings become nothing but speech jamboree. As for me, I have no objection to anyone preaching his faith to me. I am a Christian, and if today someone is able to convince me that Jesus Christ is not the visa to God, and he presents someone else who I am convinced to have paid the penalty of my sins, I will not hesitate to convert immediately, because heaven is not anything I want to gamble with. But it is not acceptable to me, and even to God, for someone to cut my head simply because I do not see reason with him to convert to his faith. God has not asked anyone to defend him in such a way. I lived in the capital of the Islamic world for 17.5 years. I was preached to countless numbers, and I equally explained to them countless numbers the hope I have in Jesus Christ, no qualms or offense by any party. In like manner, I do not see any reason why someone should take offense if I reach out to him to present my faith to him for consideration of his heaven goal. Lastly, let us ask, what serious efforts are the prominent leaders in the two principal faiths in the peace meetings making to reach out and appeal to the fundamentalists hiding under their faith to stop their evil campaign? Such action should include reaching out to the government and political leaders of the foreign countries where they originate. Doing this is the most desirable. A professor of religious law accosted Jesus Christ and asked him, which was the greatest of the laws? Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. And the second is like unto it, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the laws and the prophets. We saw this in Matthew chapter 22. The phrase, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, is the keynote that ought to be sounded, pronounced, emphasized, and re-emphasized in all the peace meetings and initiatives. If this counsel from our Lord sounds sensible and upheld by every faith and tribal leaders and leaders of neighboring communities, there ought to be peace everywhere, and there will be no need for any marathon peace meetings anytime. Let us pray. Father, I pray that these words will make meaning to all the faith leaders, to all the chiefs in various communities, to everybody, so that there will be peace in our community, in our country. My name is Sam Aweda. I am the pastor, Jesus of the World Revival Mission, also known as the People's Church.
To me, this is a wonderful sermon which you have just listened to. Contact us today for all your spiritual needs on 0810-041-6347. And do not forget to tune to this same station, same time next week. It is me, Oyebimpe Afolayan, praying that God's richest blessings abide with you now till we meet again.